Hi, my name is Regina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi everyone, we are back again, and today we are talking about some of money mistakes that we have made, our money mistakes. So it's not always all rosy when you're talking about saving money and investing, and you may think that we have it all well. No, we have made some mistakes that we would want to share with you so that you don't find yourself doing or making the same mistakes. And so I'm doing this with my husband because, as I always say, my investments and my savings we do together as a family. And so we are going straight to our mistakes in terms of money saving. So Peter, do you want to start with the first one?
Should I? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Regina, that's true. And thank you again for pulling me into this video.
I win.
The first big mistake, financial mistake that we have made, or we have made before, is investing or putting money where we have done zero research. There's an old saying that goes there: if you want to trick people around this part of the continent, well, put the information in a book, because we are not very good in reading. We once invested in in fact, it was in the stock market, and the source of our information was a friend on the street. That, this share is going to go up exponentially, so put in your money. And the next day, truly, we had got some money somewhere. We went in, put in our money there, quite a substantial amount of money. No research about the company fundamentals, no research about the trends in the market. We asked not even financial advice from any financial advisor. We just went and bought. That was almost, I think, 7 years ago. And if we tried to sell that investment today, we would not even make 10% of the money that we had put in. Like, for example, if we had put in $1,000, if we sold that investment today, we would not even make $50. So the lesson that we learned there is never rush. Research. If you want to get into a certain investment, you're told get into maybe this unit trust, buy this share, put your money offshore. Research. It gives you the comfort of mind in making your decision. That was a big mistake, which, well, we can't regret now. It's too late, but at least we can help you not to make that mistake.
And maybe just to add, just mention the amounts, because I mean, we are not. It's not something to hide. We invested 300,000 shillings, and 7 years ago that was a lot of money for us. Even now, it's a lot of money. And right now, if we sold that share, we get something like 60,000. Imagine, like, making such a huge loss. So kindly do your research before you get into any investment. Even this issue of circles we've been talking about, please make sure you research. Don't just get in there without. And the second mistake that we've done on our part is that we bought land somewhere, and that was also around 8 or 9 years ago. I think immediately when we got married, and it did not have a title deed. So again, it's also related to research, but it's not that it was a conmanship sort of an investment that we bought land that did not have title deed. It's because of the processes. In some of these counties, the processes of titling and getting title deed, it's been years, and when you follow up, just wait. We are trying to make our books in order so that we can start giving titles, and so it's money that we put in that land. It's not being utilized. The land is not being utilized. If anything, we put more money in it by wanting to plant trees, and because it's in the dry areas, then you have to keep on buying water and watering it. So you're putting more money into something that is not giving you anything. Do you want to?
Yeah, and the big issue there is when you buy land, especially land, and in this part of the world where in Kenya they're crazy with land. Please, if there is no title deed, and that title deed do a search, go to survey and get the map, get the mutations, just run. It's never too late. Don't let anybody tell you, next, if you don't buy now, next month the land will have quadrupled. It's okay. There'll always be land to buy every time. Even if you wanted land today in the CBD of Nairobi, there are still people who sell land. So it's never an emergency to buy land that is not properly titled and properly documented. because again now you keep spending money. You have to fence, you have to hire people so that, because if the land stays idle again, it can be grabbed or anything. So you spend, so one of the lessons we've learned is since that time you spend so much money, securing the land, you're always panicking. You can't do any meaningful investment. For example, maybe we would have put some rental units, but now we fear, because what if you put up rental units and then it's demolished? I was just reading last week, there was some demolitions in some part of Nairobi, and those people are showing that, I bought land, I have a share certificate. So the person selling for them give them share certificate. Yet in Kenya we know land is not registered using share certificate. It's a title deed or a leasehold. So don't for land, viewers, there's so much land in Kenya, it will never end. So don't rush. If there's no title, run very fast, very fast. Yeah.
Sure. And the third mistake that I personally made, and this was before I even got married, was investing in these Ponzi schemes. These schemes that come up and things that come up, craze come up, and I remember investing all my savings. It was 28,000 Kenyan shillings, and that was many years ago. So I remember my uncle had told me that he would help me pay for my back to school. I had done a certificate and I wanted to go back to a diploma, and I did have a stable job. So he said, this small job that you have, I was earning I think 7,000, this small job that you have, save money and then I will top up for you so that you can go back to school. So I was saving rigorously. And so at some point this scheme came up, and I said, this 28,000 I have, if I put it there I'll get double. So I'll show my uncle I've really saved, the way I've saved, so that he can hand me the top and go back to school. But that never happened because I lost all the money. So these Ponzi schemes that come, we never ask people about them, we never research about them, we just put money there without again researching. We need to avoid that, otherwise you lose everything. And I remember telling my uncle the same, and he was like, you should have asked me, you should have asked other people. So talk to people. When you hear about something, talk to people, let them tell you what they think about it, whether they know about it, whether they've heard about it, so that you can make a wise decision.
Yeah. And on that one, there's this very common saying that if the deal looks so good to be true, most likely it is too good to be true. There's a very thin line between investments and savings and making money and greed. And I think many of the times, and we are ordinary people, we get greed, and so the makers of these Ponzi schemes, they prey on the greed of the people. Like, you want to double your money in 3 months. Unless you are dealing in some weird things, it's really not that easy. It's too good to be true when someone tells you I'll double your money. When someone tells you that put money here, after 1 year I'll be paying you this amount, you really need to do a lot of research, because those things don't happen. I always give the example, one of the biggest company in Kenya, which has been making a lot of profits, it's a telecommunication company, all of you must know it, but they'll never go and tell you that if you buy our shares, we will give you this amount in dividends, because it's business, it's never a guarantee, it's a risk. So usually when the deal looks so good to be true, flee, and then and be encouraged by the fact that there's the value of time. Like, it's never that serious in this life that if I don't make money today, I'll not make tomorrow. But make the right decisions and avoid the quick hasty decisions which we've made and hope in this video you will not make. And finally, Regina, this is also a big mistake that we have made is miscalculated saving moves. Miscalculated saving moves. I don't know how best I can say it. Sometimes we sit down and say, we want to save money. We've been told there's this nice thing, there's a nice house that we can move. And the most common one is we moved to a very cheap house, far away from where we were working. Both of us were working, far away from our social networks, our friends, even church where we used to go, hoping that we were making a saving, and then we are very happy that we've moved far and we are saving. And it's also a very common thing that maybe you move 30 kilometers off where you are to save and maybe pay 50% of what you're paying. But then we ended up, when we were there, spending double what we were spending in transport. We ended up, anytime we needed to see our friends, we have to spend so much money in fuel cost or transport cost. we ended up having the strain because now you have to endure, especially if you're living in a city like Nairobi. If you go too far, you're enduring the stresses of traffic. So you are stressed out, you cannot be productive enough in terms of your work. So that was a big mistake, that don't rush. Even if, as much as I know, Regina, you've been telling people to save, always calculate. Don't just move and say that you're moving to save. You may end up spending way more than what you're doing. You may say, let me sell my small car, I'll be using public means. It may make sense now, but what if your work involves moving around? You may spend way more paying taxis, paying Ubers, sleepovers, and all that. Just the issue is calculate any saving move. Calculate any saving move.
So it may make sense, for people to move and even move further. But so what we are saying here is that you need to calculate. Make sure that you just don't move without calculating how much will it cost you, even your mental well-being. How often do you see your kids? You know, there are those moves that you may never see your kid for the whole week. You see them over the weekend because you have to leave very early in the morning and then come in late. So all that, I remember one time my auntie who has a house far away, past Kiserian, and she had to rent a house in South B, these small houses, 10,000, where she could go and sleep maybe twice or thrice a week after she leaves work in Nairobi town. So, she's not the only one. I've seen many people do that. So the issue here is just calculating the moves. How much will it cost me, not only financially, but my whole being.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if you want me to go with the final point.
Please.
I think finally the last point of the mistake that we have made, which is very common, not knowing when to quit. Not knowing when to quit. And I want to start this by saying it's okay to fail. It's okay to start a business and it fails. It's okay to get into an investment and it fails. That happens all over the world. The richest people have such stories. But there are those periods when you are so intimate with something that you keep doing it and you're just losing money and you don't know to say that I surrender, this is not for me, or I'm not making money, let me quit. If I can give one very good example, some time back we used to sell, I used to work outside Nairobi at the coast, and we used to bring in lassos and nice fabrics and sandals and bangles, and then Regina could sell them in Nairobi. And yes, we could make some money, but when you sit down and calculate, you realize the money you're using sending the clothes, the flow of customers, because she was also working, so you're just relying on it became more of a social business or a feel-good business. You know that those feel-good, you're only doing it as a feel-good, but it's not making money. You're convincing yourself it's making money, but you're just digging into your pocket. It took us very long for us to know it's time to quit. And by that time when you're quitting, you have dead stock. You have to start giving out if it's those lessons. You have a lot of merchandise that you have not sold. It's okay. Maybe you are keeping, for example, animals, like especially in Nairobi, the urbanites, as you can call them, they like having a farm somewhere. That you have 2 cows and you sell milk, and you have 2 workers and you do all that. But when you sit down and calculate, you're actually just taking money from your pocket, investing it in that milk business for a feel-good feeling that you have cows, so that you can tell your friend, oh, I have 2 cows, I run this biashara, things are really good. But when you sit down, you're just, the people benefiting is the workers, the agrovet owners who sell for you the feeds, nothing else. So, friends, there is nothing wrong to say, let me step back from this investment. I think I made a wrong decision. I live to fight another day. I think those are just some of the many mistakes that we make, and I hope, I don't know, Regina, if your viewers, pray that you don't make those mistakes if you haven't made them already.
Yeah. So that's what we wanted to share with you today, is to share some of the mistakes that we made in our lives, and hoping that this can encourage you or can give you an idea of how to avoid making such mistakes. I know there are many, but that's a few that we had planned to share today. Thank you so much for listening. Please continue checking out on the uploads that I make every other Thursday and Sunday. And if you have not subscribed, and hit the notification button which is up there, just put it on so that when I upload a video you're able to see. I look forward to seeing you next, and thank you so much for watching.